Hi, I'm Melanie from Parenting High Schoolers, and I'm here today to talk to you about checking in. When your teen gets older and you're trying to find that balance between them going out and being responsible adults, and also the need for you not to necessarily know where or what they're doing, although that would be nice to know, but to have a balance of them checking in with you, letting you know what's going on. A lot of us have kids back in our homes that were gone because of college, and now they're remotely learning and they're back at the house. When we think about this was something that we ended up having a problem with our now young adult son, who's living at home and working, saving money before he can purchase his own home. And this is all fine with us, and but we had to create an agreement about how it was going to look. What we decided to call it, this was on the advice of a friend who had also had this happen to her in earlier days prior to COVID. Basic adult courtesy. This is what it all boils down to. So if you are living away from home and you have a roommate, then you're going to let them know, oh, I'm not going to be home tonight for dinner, so go ahead and eat without me. Or I won't be home tonight because I'm going over to a friend's and I'll probably spend the night. If I am going to come home, I'll let you know. All of these things are just called basic communication, basic courtesy, and it goes so far to help the situation. Our son he was chafing under what he felt like was us checking on him. And that was not the case. We just tried to explain to him that if you are not going to come home, that's fine. You're an adult. You're in charge of your own life. But we need to know, like, should we lock the house? Our lock is funny, and so if the kids are coming in late, we leave the door unlocked because the key just is noisy. Anyhow, and none of this matters. We have told you, no matter where you're going or who you're with, but just let us know what your plan is. So if it gets to be 10 o'clock and you know you're not going to come home, just text us and say, well, I'm not coming home. It's not like you're 13 anymore and you have a curfew. These are things that we did not realize were going to need to be discussed, because always before, when he came home from college, they're just, if he went out, he told us and it was no big deal. But as time passed on through this whole, the days of Corona, that he started to do more with a couple of friends, which was great. I was glad he had somebody to go do stuff with, but it was him feeling like we were checking on him and we were trying to limit his activities, which was not the case. We just truly wanted the adult courtesy, the basic courtesy of knowing what his plan was. And so I encourage you, if you have an older teen or young adult living with you, to sit down and explain what it is that you need from them. Maybe what are not necessarily rules, but what are your expectations for when they are at home? Will they be in charge? Would you like them to be in charge of doing dinner one night? That's another thing we have evolved into. The two boys that are living at home right now are in charge of dinner one night a week, because with my husband and I work full time. My oldest son works full time, and he will eventually have to be cooking and taking care of himself. And our 16-year-old even has to cook his night as well. Like, if it's grilled cheese, great. If he wants to get more crazy and do spaghetti or whatever, everyone has their night. And then that way there's enough food going all the time between the four of us, each cooking one night a week and having leftovers. That was something we also had to decide, because when our oldest son first came home, we were all home. And I did most of the cooking, which I love to cook, and that's just how it happened. But once I went back to school full time back in August, we had to sort of establish what the expectations were. And that is always going to be the case, isn't it? When things change, they evolve. Maybe you rethink how things need to work and change. I highly recommend having a conversation with your teen, young adult, about what the expectations are and just the minimum standards. What kind of basic adult courtesy do you want and expect from them? So good luck with your teens and young adults, and I look forward to seeing you again on my next video. Give me 2 thumbs up and subscribe to my channel below. Thanks so much.